it's love again. And I pulled up in the color bins, choking, staying hard through my Prada lens. You standing there looking fine as a Kardashian. I hopped out, grabbed her hand and asked her, Ken, not marriage, no not yet, but what's the chances of dinner time? 6 plus sex, she said it equals us, pass the Dutch, and you could keep the clutch. Cause my love for you was automatic, had to have it. Now I'm living lavish, so many different whips, and every day new Gucci, Prada, and Louis baggage.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Married with Knowledge. I am your host, Terry, here with my good aunt, Mr. Clemont Brown. What's going on, Unc?
What's up, Terry?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just, thank God for another day, being here, being able to do another episode, man, and just give y'all a little bit of knowledge and share our experiences and our insight.
There you go.
Yes, sir. But we try to be real as possible on this show. So I was having a conversation with Unc, and Unc was telling me, he was going through it right now. Nothing too crazy, but it got me just to thinking how blessed Unc is, because I know he got Auntie Regina over there, man. Yes, great woman. You know what I'm saying? Great wife for him. So, I know he got that support at home, but I just wanted you to speak on basically what it's like, going through everyday life. Because as we spoke on before, as a man, we go through our humps, run through our trials, and outside world is a crazy place for a man. But just talk about how you deal with that and how Auntie Regina is just, a great supportive wife. What it's like having that support when you come home from your wife.
Well, it's a beautiful thing to have a supportive wife. Early in our relationship, and we on our last podcast when we had with Quinn, a lot of men feel that they can't come home with their issues, or they don't want to come home with their issues and put it on their wife. I just been blessed that I can share that with my wife, and this week has been rough with me, man, real rough. Some things that happened. I can be a little transparent. I had a car accident, and then today in Atlanta, I just got pulled over for some nonsense, and it was just crazy how this black police officer was treating me. He had no respect for me, and I wasn't even yelling at him. I was talking, but I was in the rut for a minute. I'm like, even all the prayer and I do in the morning time when me and my wife get dropped off, we pray every morning, even though we pray in the morning and night, right when I drop her off, I pray that she have a great day and I have a great day. And, I came home the other day and just was able to unload. And it's a good feeling when you can unload to someone who has your back, who loves you, who wants to share those responsibilities with you. And, with the car accident, it was crazy because I was driving Uber. My insurance ended up not covering it because Uber had to cover it. And it was like I went from like $1,000 deductible to $2,500 deductible. And the funny thing, my wife, because Uber is a little different than my insurance. But my insurance was like, yay, we ain't got covered. But my wife was like, don't worry about it. Because I was stressing about getting the $2,500. She said, what you worried about? I got you. I was like, wow. It takes a lot of pressure off you.
Right. Right.
You can talk to your mate, love, and they love you enough to want to even be involved in some of the issues you have. Again, some men wants to put all that pressure on themselves, and I'm one of them guys. And I think I put on Facebook the other day is when we just told you earlier that the bad thing about being strong is nobody know when you're really, really going through something. It looks good on the outside, but sometimes the strong people on the inside is hurting. And I have a beautiful wife in Regina Brown that I can let loose and relieve some of that pressure. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And we went on the podcast Unapologetically Divorce. The lady was telling us about all the things they went through. but she didn't have that support. She was supporting her
Right.
husband, but he wasn't supporting her. And I do think in a great marriage of two people, it should be support on both sides.
Yeah, but you see the different outcomes too, right? You know what I mean? You sitting there, you're in a very happy, you know what I'm saying, marriage. You know what I mean? For what is it, 36?
35.
I'm losing track. Look,
Yeah.
I'm ahead of you.
You
You know what I
had
mean?
36 in existence. That's all.
Yes, sir. But and then on their side, you know, they're divorced.
Yeah.
And it's because without that support from that significant other, man, it get a little crazy because as men, we already out there battling the world. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You don't want to come home to a whole nother battle.
Yeah.
You know what I
You're
mean? Like
definitely
that,
right.
that would drive you insane.
Definitely insane, but that's the issue that I think most marriages have is that we as men don't get that grace like women do. They could have a bad day and come home to their husband and just spill it all out. And we listen.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us,
Right.
we listen.
Right.
Good husbands. But some men who already fighting the world, fighting battling issues, and they come home to some more issues. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just thankful and I stay prayed up that I'm not having those issues, especially at home.
Right. Right.
And we talked about there's no perfect marriage, but listen, I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
trade that woman in the world for anything, man. I'm telling you right now. She's
Amen.
always had my back.
That's a good thing. And you know, as men, we battling stuff throughout, you know, throughout our everyday life. You know, what the world throws at us. But me, for example, you know, my wife has a very stressful job. She works in HR, so you know, she has to come home and pour it all on me. You know what I
Right.
mean? And listen, I sit there and I listen. You know what I mean? I give her advice. I talk her off the cliff plenty of times. You know what I mean? Because she is only so much that she wants to tolerate with anything. You know
Oh,
what I mean? So that's where that support comes in, man. And I just let her speak. And I'm just supporting her. You know what I'm saying? Giving her that love that, you know, that husband's supposed to.
that's right.
And that right there, that's listen, that's the recipe for a healthy relationship. And if you could talk to your significant other about anything in the world, man, listen, you shouldn't have no real stress on you. You know what I mean?
Right. Definitely. But being a good husband, and see, that's what some of us fail at also as husbands is that we're not that ear. Because whether, some men call it nagging. I mean, she just wanted to get some stress off of her too.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you being a great husband by this soliciting and giving her some nuggets to make it work. She and you have a strong foundation. I know her mom in HR. Mom been doing it for the biggest corporation and one of the biggest corporations in Rochester. So,
Right.
and I grew up with Retha, so I understand that, when you take on a job like my wife, she's a preschool teacher. Can you imagine all them young kids that run around?
Yeah.
I'm just, the funny part is her dilemma this week was kids coming to school sick and parents don't care. She
Right.
getting sick. So she's coming home. She's not feeling good. I'm doing the cooking. I'm saying, okay, I got you, babe. I'm making her soup. I'm doing everything for her. So the way we reciprocate it for each other, it's a beautiful thing because them daily live stuff is a killer sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, that you signed up, man. A wife, a husband. It's not just a wife and a husband, man. That's a teammate. That's a
Yes.
life mate. That's
Yes.
a person you're going to war with every single day. It's the outside versus me and you. You know what I mean? So you have to be prepared to do whatever you need to do to take care of that person. And just be there for that person. Because
Right.
again, that's what you signed up for.
All right. You
Honestly.
definitely did. It's what, better for worse, rich for poor, sickness and
Yeah.
health, and I just love. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they was like, they was talking about accountability. Even though we hold ourselves accountable, I always tell somebody, if you was at my marriage, at my wedding, And I made those vows to you, not only God to God, but in your presence, you're supposed to hold me accountable.
Mm-hmm.
If you see me doing something, tell me. Don't let it go by the wayside, you know, because I tell you, listen, if I see you cheating and you my homeboy, I'm telling you, I'm coming to you first, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't the right
Yeah, I
thing.
ain't going to your wife. I'm just going to you.
Right.
I ain't got nothing to,
That
that's
ain't the right.
between you and
That
your
ain't the right
wife.
thing. That
But
ain't the right thing to do.
right,
And
right.
then you'll know if I know you reciprocated what I told you, because I'll see the change in you. And if you're not changing, I'll just leave it alone. I'll
Right.
come away, because I see my knowledge and me helping you is not what you want, and I'm cool with that. But if I see it, I gotta say something, Terry.
Yeah, and at least have the. I mean, if you're gonna do it, and you know I'm not on that type of time, at least have the respect to don't do it around me. Don't
right?
involve me. You know what I mean? Like we ain't in our 20s and stuff no more.
No,
Like we grown with marriages and stuff. So
right.
you know,
And
some people ain't out here playing around.
and just imagine if you doing it in front of me, and then I'm out with my wife, and you and she see you doing it. Now my wife
Right.
is wondering, oh, you hanging with him?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's what he on. I'm at the check and see, what's going on with
Yeah.
you.
Oh, that's
You
what y'all
feel
be
like,
on when y'all be out.
yeah, because listen, my wife ain't scared to question it.
Right.
She gonna ask that question, what's going on? What's going on? But and you have the same type of wife, they hold us accountable, and they ask, they're not afraid to ask that question. So,
right.
we as a an individual, we have to, hold our own self accountable too. Because like you said, we too old to be starting over, trying to make everything else go right and do right. No, I'm gonna do what's right at the beginning, make it
Right.
work.
Right. I mean, because my thing is, if things are going so good, why would you even dare mess it up? You know what I'm saying? I get it. There's a lot of temptation, and people make excuses for the stuff that they do. You know what I mean? And maybe get away with it, or whatever the case may be. But
Right.
I don't know, man. I guess I've reached a different maturity to where it's like my whole livelihood is you know what I'm saying? Like I like what I got right now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm good. I don't need nothing outside these doors, man. I like everything is how it's supposed to be. So
Well,
I'm not about to go out
even in our faith walk, they say whatever you do in the dark comes to light.
yeah.
So eventually it's gonna come out anyway. It's just just be prepared for the consequences that's gonna happen between it, because everybody's not gonna accept you cheating on them. Some people will, some people won't. But my biggest form of apology is change, seeing the action in your change. I tell people, don't just tell me you love me, show me you love me. I need that action. You can say I love you all day, but if there's no action behind it, it's just a bunch of manipulation.
I mean, love ain't really words.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like love ain't words at all. Love is a feeling. And if you feel a certain way, like love, you're gonna do things to show you love that person. You know what I'm saying? So I yeah, you can say I love you a million times, but if you ain't showing, nah.
Well, while we on this thing, I know about a relationship, and I'm not going to say no names. Young man, great boyfriend, take care of the house, do it all. They have fun. They travel, but the young man was like, I'm not getting what I need at home. And after the fifth talk, it was like, now the person wants to change. The person wants to, do what this person been talking about for a long time, for about a year right now. And the other person feels like, are you doing it because I'm trying to leave?
Right, yeah, trying to
or are you doing it because you really feel this way?
Right.
And that person is really struggling whether they should stay in that relationship. And
I mean,
I just told him to pray about it. And we talked about it. Don't go into a marriage not knowing the person.
Right, yeah. I was just about to say
this is the part right now where you stop it.
Yeah, I was just about to say you ain't married yet. So
Right.
I mean, if this is one of them red flags, it's like, okay, why would you continue if this was an issue for so long? Why would you continue knowing that it can still be an issue? You know what I mean?
But
But
remember,
she could change. I mean, it's
but
50-50. She
remember
could
we
change.
talked about it. Sometimes, and I told this person, I said, I kind of blame you because you knew it was a red flag, but you thought your love and heart and they were going to change, and after the conversation, it was going to get better and better, and it hasn't. So you have to take some kind of fault in this too.
Right.
But I'm praying for the best. I am. They make a good couple. They on the outside, like we talk about, it looks great.
Right.
But the person said he has to find himself right now because he's not even feeling like a man. He don't feel wanted. Don't feel like he's
listen, man.
deserved.
That's a true feeling, though. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that's stuff that married couples have to pay attention to, man. You better know your partner because things could go left real quick. You know what I mean? Things could be great right now, but you never know if that person holding something inside. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I mean,
But check this out.
it's-
This he said, just imagine if we get married in between having kids, postpartum, and everything, it gets
oh
worse.
man,
And he
yeah.
said, I'm stuck now because I didn't do what I was supposed to do when we were single. Because I told him, I said, this is just a dating phase. Your relationship really start once you get married.
Right.
And, like I told him, I'm not here to give him a decision or help him make a decision. I'm just here to give him some nuggets and say, you really have to think about you and pray about this, So the person he thanked me, and it's just, I'm just hoping and praying for the best for him.
I mean, that's all we can do. That's why, we sit here and we talk about this type of stuff because I know in real life, if people come to us needing advice or needing our help or whatever the case may be, we're there for them. You know what I mean? So I already know, you try your best to help them. I already know.
Because I told him what I told him. I want to see love be successful.
Yeah.
We already got a stigma that black love and black marriages don't last, or we can't make it work. It's the break up the makeup type syndrome, and I just want to see. I sent you the video and you already seen it. The young black men popping their rings out, showing they married. Man, I was so impressed by that because you don't see, especially young black guys, celebrating being married.
Right. Nah, for real.
I
mean, it's the whole social. It's not just the social media era. They just magnify it on social media. And what I'm talking about is how people will see you as being soft or being a sucker or you know what I'm saying? All these things that you start to get looked at as because you found you a person and you happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, here you go, they think they better than and you know what I mean? Like you know how that go, Unc. I'm pretty sure you've been there, done that. But that's what it be. So when it comes to these younger folks, I gotta have multiple. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. We gonna get some single people on here and tell us why why they think marriage isn't for them.
Right.
Or you know what I mean? Because I would like to get their perspective. You know what I mean? I can't speak for them. I know me. You know my story, man. I was, when I got divorced the first time, I was just single and I thought I was gonna remain single. You know what I mean? But that wasn't the case. I knew who I was. I knew I was a family man.
Right.
You know what I mean? I already had my kids with me. You know what I mean? 24/7.
Just needed that.
So I knew. I knew. Yeah, that I was just about to say that. That's all I knew that I was missing. You know what I mean? And I knew it was gonna take a minute. I was single. I wasn't rushing. I wasn't even looking, honestly. It just it just happened to happen. And once, once I met her and saw what she was about, the rest is history.
Right.
You
There you
gotta
go.
hear my story 100 times over. But just to say that, taking your time, getting back to situation you were just mentioning, it's red flags there. You know what I'm saying? I know you say you like to see love succeed, but listen, if it's red flags, we don't want to force.
Right.
You don't want it to be forced, and then
Right.
they're in a toxic, unhealthy relationship. You know what I mean? So it's better to they're not married. It's better just to part ways now and listen, go
Right.
find
Definitely.
if that's what it leads to. You know what I mean? I'm not giving
Right.
no advice telling them
Right.
to break
Whatever it
up,
leads to,
but I'm just saying if that's what it leads to, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
but I say I want to see love succeed, but my first thing is you got to be happy first. You can never make somebody else happy if you're not happy, or love somebody if you don't love yourself. That's first nature. You gotta love yourself and be willing to see. I'm just proud of that person because he's being honest.
Right, right.
He's being brutally honest with himself, and we don't have a lot of that. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, they see that money's not an issue. They got a beautiful home. He provided that. They travel. I mean, everything that looks good in a great marriage, they already do. It's just
Right,
that
right.
one missing part that he doesn't feel wanted or desired.
And that listen, and that is a very important part, man,
Yeah.
because again, don't no man want to be in that position, man. You in a relationship with somebody, and now I'm not trying to put two and two together, but I'm just saying you come home and you just ain't getting none, or you ain't getting everything, or you know what I'm saying? Like she just ain't satisfying you sexually, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So as a man, I mean, and you're not married, that's come on, man. How much
Because
redder do the
and,
flag gotta
and
be?
me and my wife, we that's my road dog. And the funny thing she said, in our younger age, we was doing it like rabbits. We was, we were everywhere we could be. And she's like, I said, honey, I know. I said, well, we done slowed down now, but back in the day when you young, man, you don't miss a beat.
Yo,
Especially,
miss a B.
yeah, and the variables with that is, we know that it's gonna change when you got different work schedules, or you got
Hmm.
kids in the house that they're young and you got to put them to bed and they jumping out of bed, and y'all have to start planning other things other times. But
Hmm.
when you single and no kids there, I should
Well,
I should be I should be
but
able to come home
listen,
on a midnight shift and you ready.
man, what I'm super ready. Like, hey, hi, honey.
you
But
know?
also listen, you saying how when y'all was younger, but there was a physical chemistry there. There was an intimate chemistry. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? There was love there. So if that's not happening,
right.
like that should be instant. Like that's how I always said, right? So when you're younger, single, whatever the case may be, you're just doing it just to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You trying to you trying to you're trying to run up them numbers, especially a teenager.
Right.
You trying to run up them numbers. You know what I'm saying? But when you in a relationship, it's a lot different
Yeah.
for me. Like it's not even planned. Like sex ain't planned, man.
Right.
It's a moment. It can happen at any time. You know what I'm
Anytime.
saying? Like something can happen in the kitchen to where you be like,
Right.
you in trouble tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right on the counter.
yeah, yeah. There should be no planning. Like we 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 having sex on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you know what I'm saying. You try. Listen, I've heard the craziest things, man.
Yes.
We got to get it in when we can, and like I said, man, listen, that's not
Listen, it ain't.
that's not the intimacy,
Listen, listen,
the chemistry. That's
listen.
not how it works. That's not how love works.
Cherry, I ain't bragging. you be in the car on way somewhere, and it's the touch of the leg or the touching of the ear. You don't pulled over. You don't pulled over. We got to make it. You know, listen, we being honest. We being honest and transparent.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. You know, it's just people don't. What people don't realize is loving somebody and being in love is two different things.
Mm-hmm.
I can love you all
Real.
day, but if we're not in love, if we're not being intimate, you know, I seen the TikTok video and it was the funniest thing. The man grabbed the lady by the leg, and next thing I know, all you seen was a ocean. It was flowing like, you know. I'm like, wow, they do some crazy. But I understand it was the touch of her man that made her feel like, damn,
right, yeah, for real.
Let's get this movie. Let's get this movie. Let's go back to the crib.
You talking about pulling over? Mine could barely get dressed and get ready for where we going. It's like we not gonna make it. Like I can't sit here and watch you get like no. I'm going downstairs. I'll be waiting for you down there.
Yeah, right. You know
what I'm saying? And that's just the love and our relationship. You know what I mean? Because I mean, when you love them like that, it's like you can't get enough of them.
You can't get enough of them. Seriously, you can't. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially when you're married and in love, or you're in a long-term relationship. It should come natural. It should come at any. You know, I'm at awe that some of the stuff that we do here, and that's why I love Married with Knowledge, because we talk about it all. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing. I was just bragging about. I was talking to a young lady in the car, and I told her to subscribe to the podcast and look at. I think I had like 3 women already, said they was going to subscribe. But I was telling them, I was like, I felt so honored when you called me to come on, because I was on the show and you called me and said, "Oh, I need you to come on here with me." I felt honored because I used to do it by just walking and giving my little nuggets through my little exercise. But I love the atmosphere right now and what we're doing, and the transparent and we could talk about anything, and that's a blessing in itself.
Right. I mean, because listen, my thing is, how people be nowadays, they like to expose you and do all that type of stuff. Well, if you ain't doing nothing to get exposed, or putting yourself out there, setting yourself up, we can be transparent. You know what I mean? I can't be on here giving knowledge and talking if I'm not right.
Right.
If I turn this podcast off and I go do the whole opposite of what I just talked about, you know what I mean? Like that's not what we're here for, man. And I don't want to look like that type of person anyway. Like that's very hypocritical. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but so we are gonna have to make a segment where we get a couple older fellas, younger fellas, and bring maybe 2 or 3 guys on here and just tell them why they don't think marriage is for them, or why they don't think they ever get married.
Right. Yeah.
That and guess what? Maybe we can get a few women out here and say say
there's little bachelorettes out here.
Yeah. And hear their thoughts and about it. And it's because it's real. It's real because the conversation I have is men say the dating pool is crazy out here, and women say it's piss in the dating pool. But my question to them is, are you making yourself accessible?
Right.
I mean, I don't want to say what you bring into the table, but are you willing and able to find somebody who work a 9 to 5 and all he needs is a great woman?
We broke down a percentage thing before, remember?
You know what I'm
saying? They want them tall. You know what I'm saying? They want them making 6 figures. So you don't eliminate it 80%. So
but then you say
go on and on.
But then we broke it down even more. But only like 5% want y'all.
Exactly.
So y'all gotta want each other. So it's
5%
crazy.
is a lot.
But but it's a lot trying to get that 5%, and it's just it's crazy. We just got to do better. We got to do better as a community, as a whole. I see some great marriages. I do, and I see some terrible relationships.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
ones that are terrible, you don't even have to go far because you see them on Facebook. They put each other on blast on Facebook. My thing is, you pick that person.
Right.
And now that y'all ain't, you want to blast them. I'm like,
Y'all putting on the show.
yes.
I love my city, man. I will always love my city, man. Ain't nothing like Rochester, New York.
No,
man.
nothing, man.
Ain't nothing better than that. Rochester, New York, man. Born and raised, man. That's where we originate from. And
yes,
we don't live there no more. But I know you. I know me. We love where we come from, man. Yes, that's home. That'll always be home. Can't nobody talk down on my city. To y'all who do, y'all, shame on y'all.
But
man,
the sad part though, they talk bad about us because we left. A lot of people, but I laugh. I say, some people. I'm not gonna say everybody. You're right. Some.
Yeah, not everybody. Yeah,
everybody. Some people need change.
It needs change. And let's be real.
Yeah.
Some of the people that's saying that, you don't think if they had the chance to move,
right,
or set up, you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't easy to move either. I don't think they even understand that part of the moving. Okay. Like you move into a whole nother city, whole nother state. If you don't know nobody or
the struggle is real.
Which I got a few family members here, but we started from scratch. Like it was, so
the story, man. We and my wife got up and left. We thought it was going to be peaches and cream because we visit here all the time. Come down here, come to find out the daycare regulations is different. She had to go back and get some certificates in order to open up hers, and then she ended up still just working for other people. I got down here, things changed. We went from getting an apartment to the lady scammed us to getting another house and then building a house. It's a lot of process that goes into this, and if you're not strong enough, you can't make it because a lot of people leave the city and go back.
Right. Now we vow, to not go back. You know what I mean? Like even if we move from here, we want to move to a different city. Like we just,
me too.
Some people want to see the world. You know what I mean? We don't want to be stuck in just one city. You know what I'm saying? But I always go back home to visit, man. I love I love home.
Listen, you playing around. I got to go back just to get a garbage plate, man.
What? Garbage plate?
Listen, Bill Gray's Country Sweet.
Bill Gray.
So good. I listen. I hit them all. My wife said, "Man, you got a smorgasbord." Listen, I got to hit them all before I go back.
I got to go to Wegmans, Savoy's Bakery.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't understand.
Yeah, man. But man, that was a great talk, man. I'm glad we got to get some of that stuff out. You know what I mean? Because I know as men we hold a lot in, man. And
yes.
Even if it's just me and you talking to each other, man, I appreciate this. But we also appreciate each and every person that tunes in. If you subscribe, thank you very much. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. But again, me and Unc, thank y'all for supporting Married with Knowledge. We will see y'all next week with a brand new episode. As always, put God first and the rest shall follow.
Amen.
Peace.
Peace.